Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I don't know if you saw the agenda. Do we need a motion to adopt? But we haven't something to add. I know it's not our practice, but there was an item forgotten on the agenda that was sent out last Friday. I would like to add under new business 12.8 motion to accept a tender for the entrance office at the Clare Health Center. We had forgotten to put it on the agenda. With that addition, moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Councillor Hill. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. 3. Declaration of conflict of interest. Anybody in conflict with an item on the agenda? If not, we will go on to item 4, the strategic plan 2025-2030 for Université Sainte-Anne. Kenneth, it's all yours. Thank you, Mr. Warden LeBlanc, General Director. Thank you, members of council, to welcome here this evening and to give me the chance to talk about your university, Université Sainte-Anne. Before I start, I would like to benefit from the occasion to thank you all and also the people before you for the support that you have given to Université Sainte-Anne over the years. It's clear that as myself, you consider Université Sainte-Anne an institution, an establishment that is essential to our municipality, and I am happy to be the president. Keeps me awake at night often, as you can imagine, but knowing that you are there to support us, it makes a big difference. And that's what I want to talk about this evening. I would like to enter in my presentation. And to start, I am here with 3 goals this evening. Obviously, to present our strategic plan. When I say ours, it includes all of us. And for everybody who listens on the televised version for this evening, I want to invite you all to participate, the municipality, municipal councillor, and all the citizens of Clare. The residents of Clare, I would welcome you to participate in our strategic plan. But at the end of my presentation, I would like to hear your questions, your ideas, and your suggestions on the strategic plan or on other points that are coming, if you have any other questions that come to mind during my presentation. The strategic plan that you have in front of you was developed in a turbulent environment. We started working on this last winter. I can't remind you what was going on in the world last winter with the tariffs imposed on our country, our community. Our province was subjected to tariffs that have changed the context, the cultural and economic context. The way to see the people has changed a lot in the last year. We were developing our plan in the middle of that. We were before a federal election. We had just came out of a provincial election. But I want to mention also something that we are worried about at St. Anne's that will change the way that we do things. It's the artificial intelligence that's coming up. With all the technological revolutions, it's a big opportunity, but it is also a menace to the way that we do things. It changes our approach. So another thing I would like to add there also is things that have remained constant in there that made us reflect, that gave us a sense of stability, our engagement towards the community, to the province, and Acadie of Nova Scotia, and here in particular, the municipality of Clare, and also our engagement towards the environment, the values that we all share. This plan, strategic plan, is a lot more of a strategy than a plan. For those of you who work around the strategic plan, you will come at the end and look for other sections, but we resisted the temptation to go in that direction. We inspired ourselves with a different approach. It is more of a strategy than a plan. And there are a lot of action plans coming out of this strategic plan, several initiatives that will change. I have worked with the administration of the university during the pandemic. You have certainly done the same thing here at the municipality. Our plan were prepared quickly, and we did not think much about strategy, but this time we concentrated on strategy. We have a strategy to address the difference, the plan. We were looking at different scenarios, what would happen if, and how do we react, and it is by looking at all that and arriving at what is essential for Université Sainte-Anne's and the way we do things. We think we developed a strategy that prepares us for the unforeseen, the turbulence period that is continuing. So essentially this strategic plan answers the question, who are we? What is our advantage? And ultimately, how do we win? The strategic plan comes from a business world, and business is about winning. It's to take advantage of things. We went deep into what is the context of the university, how do we win, and how do we deal with difficult situations. Of course, at the end, I reserved the chance to present an invitation to participate, and I have a particular invitation for you as a municipality at the end of my presentation. So if I turn the page now, as there, vision and mission of Université Sainte-Anne already there. This image is not there for no reason. Université Sainte-Anne, I'd like to bet that there are some of our employees that say we have the best immersion program in the universe. We are probably almost the only, and I will continue to say this, but it's the only university with a lighthouse on its main campus. And where else would you see that? It is very unique, and I noticed when we received comments from the community on our strategic plan, I had the chance to talk about Université Sainte-Anne's, and I used the lighthouse as a symbol. And I realized that the former president also had the chance to do that. So we decided to use that lighthouse as a symbol of what we are. If you look at the vision of a university, you will see that before we were a brand institution, but now we are a strong institution of the Canadian Francophonie, anchored in Acadie of Nova Scotia and open to the world. And the translated version of this, if you look at the last page of the strategic plan, there is a QR code there. If you click on that QR code, you will see the English version of our strategic plan, and you will see that in our vision, we talk about a beacon. And that says a lot. What does a lighthouse do? A lighthouse is signaling the dangers. I grew up close to Cape St. Mary, and I heard that sound of the foghorn in my mind. It will always be there. but it invites the people to come into your port and into your world. It signals also a secure harbor. It's mostly what we offer to our students.
So we play a lot with marine themes to identify who we are, and I think we must do this, and I know as a municipality you probably do the same. The mission of the university is unique. It is committed to its community and environment that is new this year, because we talk about the community but also our place, the importance of this unique haven. We have, maybe for political reasons, not spoken that much about our position at the principal campus here in Sydney, the place where we're situated, where our principal campus is at Church Point, affects the way we do things regardless of where we are, and it defines us. So we're speaking of our place, our who else has a wooded walking place that's 5 kilometers on its campus. So what do we have after us? We have a haven for learning, innovation, knowledge mobilization, and fulfillment in French. So we often recall us. We have very good sportive who go to the national, compete on the national scenes. Not only do they they have also
Succeeded.
they shine in French. The values of the university. For the values, this brings us a reflection on, and I will quote Mark Twain, and I was corrected, and I said it's Pascal Blatt who would have said this 200 years before Mark Twain. He has a quotation that's famous for him. He says,
time to write you a short letter.
we have taken the time to write a short letter. The strategic plan, there are very few words in it, and this is meant to be. It gives us the occasion to reflect on each word that we used, and we invite every person to give the sense that they want to their collaboration, but we have given it in our values. We talked about the engagement, our commitment and sharing. So the passion for commitment and sharing, these are the words we want to use. Also, we talk about identity. We talk Acadian and Francophone pride in all its diversity. We just use a few words. The diversity also represents equity and inclusion in the strategic plan. The Acadian identity, that's where we see all the flags you have on your tables, the festival that we work as in a partnership with Clare, with many different ways, but it's more than that. The Acadian identity has accompanied the University of St. Anne and given it its in particular identity, a rural aspect, a personal, and a family place. We're already unique as a maritime place, but also as being part of the Acadian community, and also the way Acadians have learned to live in this community with the Anglophones, with the Afro-Acadian people, and also now with the diversity. We're very unique at the University of St. Anne. The audacity, this is the energy and risk-taking in the service of innovation and resilience. We want to make activities that we have not done otherwise. The respect is the love for the environment and the community spirit in support of our university's growth. It's very important in our values. here. Who are we? Yeah, there's two things on this slide. The three poles, it represents who we are as a university, the identity we've given ourselves. Look, the one in blue, which is which is knowledge and creativity. We're there to teach and do research, be creative, and elaborate on knowledge. What makes us unique for this point is the persons and the culture. When we look at the students, our teaching staff and all our staff, believe it or not, when we developed this, we also thought of the men and the women of our community who come almost every morning to play pickleball at the sports centers. It's also part of the people who gravitate around St. Anne's University. And finally, I already mentioned it a couple of times, our engagement with the environment and the community of Clare and of Nova Scotia more. Well, many places of interaction. Also, there's teaching, learning, the impact of this research. We're focused on the environment and the well-being of every people. Essentially, we have brought back to these three poles or pillars. We've brought them to. We chose with a lot of difficulty 6 poles, 2 for each of the 3. The indicators of performance, they will be treating with these 6. The recruiting and also our value to keep students of not only the students but our staff. We put a big of a culture that is unique to St. Anne's, which is the familial atmosphere. We work very to have the we are just launched a big project. We're evaluating all of our programs at the same time right now to see how we can position our programs for the world that our students will be facing. The research and creativity is also very important. And finally, we see the question of the collaboration and partnerships. I will talk about this. I see that Rachel ecosystems and durability because it's one of her priorities, but it also goes along with the work we are doing all together around our campus. These are our 6 points that we were also reported at the council of the people, our bureau direction. There are action plans that are related to each of those. Some of them are short, some of the recruitment and keeping the people. We're also working on a new research program. We're also working on a plan of decarbonization. We're not putting it in place, but what can university can do to arrive at net zero as we are speaking. And we're also looking for ways to finance this.
My pitch for you this evening, our proposal, we propose, this is something that does not exist in many places explicitly. We are proposing that you enter an agreement between the university and the municipality at a high level that would have the objective of making our community a university community. If we think of places like Sackville, New Brunswick, Willville in Nova Scotia, or Antigonish, Nova Scotia, we cannot think of those places without thinking of the universities that are there. So there is a programming there that was developed over the years. I don't want necessarily to name this community, but it is there if we want to use it. So I propose a strategy that in the long term will bring us there, that we would identify the municipality of Clare as a university community. There are a lot of advantages for that for us in terms of recruitment of students and staff. It's important. I see already the people who are selling homes, they usually refer to the university. It's a plus for the community. What I propose is a project that will leverage all this. We already have a lot of projects and agreements together. We will continue. I see that you will be talking about inclusion later on this evening. It is already something we do together. We are working in the Petit Bois together. We are partners at different levels in the Grand Fondo, at the Acadian Festival of Clare, at the Rendezvous de la Baie on our campus. We work together with the Trail, the Petit Bois, and the Sports Complex. And thank you. Last year you have supported us. We could have made some important renovations to the rink, to the electrical system that allows us to have some ice this year. These are all things that will remain, but we would develop also a mechanism that would give us to let us to go back and think about in 5 years or 2 years what are the big projects that we can work on. So what is the fields that where we could work? The integration of the students and staff in the community who participate in the activities that we organize. They stay longer, they buy homes, they pay taxes. It's important. The events, we already have events together, but we could do more to extend the tourism season. There are things that you plan also that we can add value to them. The infrastructures, it's always a problem. We have a lot of similarities when we look at our objectives, but the collaboration that we used for the track and field, for example, and the soccer field, which is very well used by the citizens of our community. I would think that if you go there now, you will see the citizens of the community who are walking on that trail, and it starts at 7 in the morning. There's a lineup. And also, I mentioned research. We have some research tools that we can give to the community, the programs that we develop. A lot of doctors in our community are students from St. Anne's, and also the staff at the health center. But I'm returning to the long-term vision. It would bring a shared brand name between the university and the municipality. That's my pitch. That's our strategic plan. With your agreement, I'm sure that you will discuss this more once I'm gone, but the pros and cons, I think there are a lot more pros to unite and to develop. We do a lot of things together. What does it represent concretely? I think it represents essentially establishing a committee of a few members, senior members from my team, and certain members with you who would meet a couple of times a year to look at the things that we do together and to think how we could leverage these things and how we could develop them more and think where we want to be together in 3, 4, maybe 10 years. So that's my pitch. If you have any questions or suggestions, I'll be happy to hear them and note them. Thank you. Thank you, Kenneth, for the big vision that you have. It's nice to see. You You had a lot of work on your strategic plan. I don't know if there are any questions or comments. Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. Thank you, Mr. DeVoe, for your presentation. It's really well. It's interesting. The future. Often when we go to meetings, the others at the meeting ask us where we're from, and we say we're from St. Mary's Bay or Clare, and sometimes they don't know what it is, but when we mention that's where the university is, then they know. So then we know that the university does give us a proud brand. A question that I have, in the past we had a lot of time placed on the recruitment to bring some young people here. Is there still a lot of time given to the recruitment? Yes, thank you for the question. I will make a comment that follows your comment, and then I'll come back to your questions concerning recruitment. I don't know if you had the chance, either in vacations or part of your work, to go to Louisiana. I swear that Université Sainte-Anne is better known on the Lafayette Street than at the Halifax streets because of its implications and its knowledge there. We developed a lot around tourism and the relations between St. Mary's Bay and Louisiana, and it's thanks to this thing that you talk about, the expansion of St. Anne's in Louisiana and the work of the regretted Jean-Douglas Comont. I think we are well established there. There's a big opportunity there. But now for your question on recruitment, we have a lot more energy in recruitment that we have ever had in terms of tools and the size. It is something that keeps me busy. I'm sure that we will improve the international recruitment if we start with there. The FCC put a moratorium on the 2 years ago there was a moratorium on the admissions for international students in Canada. They reopened that with certain limits that are very restrictive. The limit is not a problem for us, but the problem is the load that the students have to make a request for admission. We are working, we have a particular project because we are a French university in a minority situation, and we are happy also to have another collaboration with ERCC, the Economic Council of Nova Scotia is a partner with a project, and we will start recruiting students from Africa with the main goal of having them become permanent residents and that they stay in Canada. A lot of them do it already, but now we will not only be recruiting them for studies in our programs, but if they want to stay, we will encourage them. We will not only encourage them to stay in Canada, but specifically in Nova Scotia and work in Nova Scotia and in Clare, for example. So that is something that we have a lot of hope in. The effect of changes affected all the universities in Canada, so there are a lot more competition in the schools of Nova Scotia and Canada for students. So we are working that much harder. We had a good year. We are at 592 students this year. We were 560 last week and a bit less the year before. The type of students that we are receiving and their origins, the programs that they are in are different, but there is a budgetary effect on those. But the recruitment is a very large priority.
Are there any other questions or comments? Conseiller Como, thank you. Thank you, Mr. for your presentation. It's very interesting to hear what you had to say. You mentioned earlier that the artificial intelligence. My question is University Zetan, is it going to use, or are they using artificial intelligence to teach? Is this something you're already doing, or are you looking at it? It's a good, yes, the answer is yes, we're using it. University Zetan has worked with the Atlantic universities to develop a scope to use the artificial intelligence in teaching. There is a reaction there's a reaction that it's a way to go
Cheat.
maybe do a plagiarism, but our professors are going ahead for this problem to use the artificial intelligence to change their way of doing things, and that is happening. There's also ethical questions regarding AI. If we use ChatGPT or Copilot, the amount of energy we use is enormous. So we're trying to make that the community that we will be using this, but if we can find the answer, even a simple Google search requires much less energy than ChatGPT. From an administrative point of view, we're just looking at the surface of this, but I can tell you that me personally, I'm working with AI every day in my work. I can tell you that my people who work around me also using it, but in a very prudent way and in a limited scope. It's something, I think if we look at the private center, if they're not using it, but they're looking at it. Other questions? No? You did a good presentation, so you covered all the key points. I think there's something to look to make the relationship with the community much in the next stage is something we can discuss, how we can work more closely and what are the next steps that we should follow. And I think you're on a good vein, and thank you for your time and your presentation. Thank you. I know you will think about what I propose. You have my presentation, you have the general line, and you have many different ways to contact me. I would like to come back to the first thing I said, that's working for St. Ed's University. Sometimes I'm working for the community also, because it's our university. And do not hesitate if you have ideas or suggestions or questions, or if you want something that you see that we don't see. Please, I'm open to talk with you anytime, and I hope you have a good meeting and discussions. So that's number 4, that's done. That's number 5, adoption of minutes, 5.1. From October 15th, we have our swearing-in ceremony for Councillor Commodore, proposed by Councillor Hill, seconded by Conseiller Como. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 5.2, October 15, we had a regular council meeting. Have you looked at these minutes? Proposed by Supervisor Potier and seconded by Conseiller Como. All those in favour? Motion carried. And then November 12th, we had our council and committee meeting. Have you looked at this one for errors or omissions? Proposed by Councillor Deveau, seconded by Conseiller Robbins. All those in favour? Motion carried. Number 6, business arising from previous council meetings. There is nothing there. Number 7, Warden's activity report. My report. October 20th, I came to a meeting of the consultative committee for the police. This was every quarter there was a report for us, which was more informative, and there was training with the RCMP. October 24th, I went to a reception organized by the CDNA for the small and entrepreneurial. There was a lot of businesses, local businesses. There were nice prices and the discussion. The 4 to 7 meeting. There was the fall NSFM meeting. It was very informative for everybody. With Conseil de Vaud was with us. And then on November 13th, I went to the 8th colloque of French immigration at the Atlantic. I was on a panel to explain the transformation of communities. The French, and they chose us because of our role with the welcoming communities project. It was a good occasion. November 14th, I went to a meeting with the new Minister of Municipal Affairs, the Honorable John A. MacDonald. There were a few councillors here. It was nice to meet him and do a bit of brainstorming with our mutual ideas. November 15th, I went to a meeting of the Council Governors of Université Saint-Anne. November 6th, I was for a ceremony of recognition for the first interventionists
Responders.
at Saint-Alphonse. Councillor de Vaud was there. It was a good initiative of the parish to showcase all people working at the church. Then this is 17th December. There was the financing of the project that's done now with the Acadian Cemetery at Pointe-à-Mavour. It went very well. If you did have a chance to see this, it's very well made. So I encourage you to go and have a look. On November 19th, at a public reunion organized by the RCMP. Most of the councillors were here. It was a good meeting, and there was a lot of interesting. So I think it was a follow-up on their 13 months of work, and it was a good overview of what they had accomplished. On the 21st of November, I went with the General Council of France and the Atlantic region with the Société Acadienne that done this activity. It gave us ideas and approaches that they're using. On November 21st, I had a meeting with the Minister of Education, Brendan Wire, who came to St. Anne's University. Kenneth invited us to tour campus with him to see what a typical day for a student at St. Anne's looks like, and that is my report. Are there questions? If not, this brings us to number 8, official statements from members of council. Anybody here who has official? Thank you. I just want to signal that since our last meeting, that on the 25th of October, I went to a weekly meeting with the people who do quilting, and then that day, the group of women worked on their 500 quilt, and for people who are in need in Clare, my mother has already received one of those quilts in the past, so I see the importance of the impact of what these women are doing for our community, and I want to thank them and also congratulate them on their 50th quilt. So
100th.
I think we should maybe send them a certificate that I would go and give them at their next quilting meeting. I don't know if you all agree to send this. So,
If you all agree, moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Any questions or comments? Ready for the vote? Against, motion carried. So we will send this. When are they meeting? What night of the week? It's every Saturday afternoon that they meet. So if some of you want to join them to quilt, you can go. Any more presentations? No? That's good. So we are at item 9, correspondence 9.1. We have a letter from Honorable John A. MacDonald, Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Mayors, wardens, and councillors, I am honoured to serve as Nova Scotia's Minister of Municipal Affairs. As I begin in this role, I want to express my deep appreciation for the vital work municipalities do every day to support our communities. I look forward to meeting many of you at the upcoming NSFM conference. This is a valuable opportunity to listen, learn, and begin building strong working relationships grounded in collaboration and mutual respect. Municipalities are key partners in shaping the future of our province. I am committed to working with you to advance shared priorities and ensure our communities continue to thrive. Please do not hesitate to reach out to my office if there's anything you would like to discuss ahead of NSFM. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Yours truly, John A. MacDonald, Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Des questions, des commentaires?
And
Non?
9.2, Honorable Tory Rushton, Minister of Natural Resources.
Regarding the procurement of water bomber airplanes. The province of Nova Scotia currently has 4 aircraft that we use for a variety of purposes, including water bombing on wildfires. These helicopters have proven to be quite sufficient to support our wildfire fighting effort year after year. Sometimes wildfires do occur that require us to ask for assistance from other agencies with larger aircraft. In these cases, our national agreements for resource sharing allow us to access these resources very quickly. After events like those we have experienced this season, there have been numerous internal meetings to review what actions we took. From these discussions, we take everything into consideration to see what we can do better in the future. We thank you for your interest in our wildfire fighting efforts. Regards, Tory Rushton, Minister of...
Questions or comments on this? Just to clarify, a lot of people were asking if we were acquiring some water bombers for the municipality, but actually it's a provincial matter. 9.3, Jennifer Griffiths, the Executive Lead, the Department of Opportunities and Social Development. Questions or comments on this letter? 9.4, Scott Farmer, CEO of Property Valuation Services Corporation. Thank you. This letter is more for information to the staff to make you aware of a proposed increase that is coming up to what we pay to property valuation services every year. So this is just information to let you know that this year that there will be, or next year that there will be an increase of 8% compared to the rates that we paid for 25-26. So the fiscal year now, our contribution to government to services is 261,000, and that amount for the next fiscal year will increase by 8%. So this is just to make you aware. And in the letter, Mr. Farmer explains the reasons for this. Essentially, between 5 years, the VFCs have increased by 24%, and the municipalities billed for these services have increased by only 4%. So this is a way for them to catch up. So this is just for information. Questions or comments on this item? It's been a while since there was an increase. The 4% was, yes, the rate did go up quietly in the past years, but didn't go up by 4% in 1 year. Just an overview on our projects dated November 26th. The expansion at the Clare Health Center. The acoustical treatments have been installed. Not last weekend, but the weekend before. The report to address the deficiencies in the building. We are at 95% completed. So there is 5% that we are working on it to clear that. The occupancy, formerly we have minimum occupancy. In terms of the list from the people of Clare who are waiting for a doctor, on November the 24th, we had 107 people on that list. There were 20 that have been contacted that we are waiting for them to contact us to place them with a doctor. When we have heard about these 20 people, we will contact the other 87. We still have room for more. For the Veterans Building, the floor at the studio is being grinded to bring it lower. They should have finished today. I did not get confirmation, but this week for sure. The sprung floor that will go over that should be installed next week. So that's being going forward. The testing for the sound in the main building, we are waiting for an estimate for the treatment to reduce the noise in those rooms. We have a bit of work to do in the kitchen. We have stainless steel on the walls, especially behind the dishwasher. It's a recommendation we had following a visit from certain chefs to the kitchen. Similar to the medical center, here at the Veterans Center, we are working on a deficiencies list to solve the problems that we noticed after construction. So we are improving there. You might have seen problems with the walk-in washer. That was unfortunate because it brings us back a bit. The walk-in freezer will be replaced on December 8th. We were concerned that there would be a long wait time, but December the 8th is not too bad. The work will be done then. For the bookings, there is a lot of people who contact us to see if we can take bookings. We are not there yet because of the construction zone at the studio. We took a few bookings, discretionary decisions on November the 11th for Remembrance Day, and as much as possible, we are trying not to take too many bookings, but then in January we will be able to have bookings like we did in the past. The land use bylaw, I spoke with Stantec this morning, so the document essentially is completed. It's ready to be to brought to the council. All that's missing is an update on the maps, and that shouldn't take long. We think we will have the document in your hands and for the public for revision next week. For the following dates, what we propose as dates, we wanted to have a session with the private sector at the beginning of the exercise. We will try to organize something with the same group with the private sector for December, the week of December 16th. We will send some emails to see if these dates are okay.
From there, the intention is to have a time passes quickly. We're almost. Do you have an intention to have a public meeting on January 8th, which gives all the December of 19 of the December month. So if Clare who want to read it, we spoke to Stantec about this morning, and we saw that Christmas and the vacations is about 3 weeks, so we did not want to create a situation where we will not give enough time of the people in Clare to read it. So the intention is to have the public session on January 8th to present them. We'll have a meeting. The meeting will be presented to our meeting here on the 21st of January and presented to second reading in February to get to the signature. So that is the timeline we have, if you agree with this one. For what is concerning the sewer system, Metighan sewer extension, the extension of the system in Metighan is finished. The work is complete, and I was talking with the developer. We will have the construction for the first house that will go on that site will be done in the first year. In the beginning of next year, there will be four of these buildings will be installed before the end of March. So we have 4 of those before the end of the fiscal year. With the upgrade of the others, we're still planning for the rest. So we have asked for an extension for the project to complete, to give us more time to complete that portion of this project of this. This is a program that is specific for big projects of infrastructure. This is a program that they realize it's a big project that takes a lot of time. The program stays open until 28, 29, so an extra few months will not change much. So this is going ahead well. So we'll have new houses in the next few weeks. The active transportation plan. We're finalizing what we heard report based on the session that was done in the community. They will make a report on the survey that was done. It will come to the municipality later this week or next week, and from then we will be able to present our comments and the retroaction, and after that we will start with writing the plan, and their intention is to come to council meeting on the 21st of January to make a presentation of their draft, to ask your feedback and your comments, and also answer questions regarding this plan. And after this discussion and their plan will be made public, and there will be other discussions with the public. so people in Clare will see where we're at regarding that. The intention is to have this plan finished before the end of this fiscal year, the 31st of March 2026. You might have seen here that the new building for equipment storage building is going ahead slowly. We have the slab everything is ready to pour the slab, and we think that the concrete will come in the next week or 2 weeks. We're waiting for concrete, but this being said, everything will be framed. The trusses are already on the site, and we hope to have it roof tight as soon as possible. The housing development, the project for that is being done at the Little Brook, again with Matthew Malta Holdings. The roads and all the power lines have been installed for the whole project on the site. And presently there are 7 houses that have been installed. The 7 are rented. But according to the developer, the feedback of the people who are renting these units is very positive. There will be a construction of an 8th house that will start in a couple of weeks, and this one will be installed before the end of this year. So when the 8th house is done, that will be the end of the first phase of that project. The group is already working on phase 2, and all the materials for the septic have been bought, and they started working on the septic shortly. It will depend on the availability of the contractors to do this work, but it's going ahead nicely. Just as information for council, the water voucher program is very popular since we launched it. When we launched the project, we said that the program would end on the 30th of November. This was we had chosen this. We decided that it would be good to prolong this for another 2 weeks until the 15th of December. We see that the request for water is diminishing. We give tickets for blocks of weeks at a time, so we distribute 13,000 coupons for water. Weeks 3 and 4, that was to 3,065. So you see and week 5 and 6, we're in the middle of week 6, we're at 1,768. So it's going down gradually. So a lot of people this is probably, we're trying to have these comments that most of the people go saying it will be their last time. So if our intention is to end it at the 15th of December. This program is financed by the province, and province might end this program before then, but we have not received any indication from them that this will happen before 2 weeks. So I think we're okay to prolong our program until the 15th of November, and if something else happens, we can reconsider. But for now, we're thinking about finishing. For our, at the beginning, the 31st, there was $13,066,027 in revenues versus $7,802,950 in expenses, for a surplus of $5,262,077. And again, on October 31st, the municipality had a balance of $6,531,162 in its operating fund, $198,510 in its capital fund, and a total reserve balance of $3,936,526. It can be broken down in the following: operating reserve $2,604,000 137, capital reserve 106,464, the landfill closure reserve 383,392, the gas tax reserve 316,265. We have not have received the gas tax for this year, so that's the balance of last year. And finally, the Sustainable Services Growth Fund reserve is 526,268. So we're in a good financial situation. Thank you for.
Thank you for the report. Any questions or comments? Okay. We are up to item 11, waste check. Councillor Doe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. We had a meeting of waste check on November 18th, last week. We spoke again about all kinds of things, but what we touched the most was the extended responsibility, EPR. It will officially start on December 1st, which is next week. Saying that, you will place your garbage by the roads like before. The public will not see a big change. You will bring your garbage there because we will not be making big changes, but the changes will come a little at a time. So saying that, we could either opt in or opt out of the program ourselves. We will talk about this in a motion, but we decided to opt in the program. And up to date, we had about 3 in the province who opted out. So it was their choice. There will be things that will be removed from the blue bags and something that will be added to the blue bags. But again, the public will know as it comes. These are only small changes, but for now, nothing is changing. We do as before. There will be some information on what will change. It will be published everywhere. What we like now about this program, it will say that the province of Nova Scotia will be the same everywhere. So if we go to Halifax or Cape Breton, it will all be done in the same manner with EPR.
Uniform.
So if somebody wants to know more about this, about EPR, they can go on the website of WasteCheck. The website, it explains very well what the program is, and for those who want to know more, because if I start to explain it, it's way too long. But the people who are interested on what the EPR is, how it will work, they can go to the website of WasteCheck and it explains all that. We also spoke a bit of the visit to schools that WasteCheck does to explain to the young in the schools how to start recycling, to start young. And it works well at the schools. That includes also University St. Anne. They go there also to talk to the students there, to see how it works and to get everybody on board. So it was a good meeting, and that's it. Thank you. Questions or comments on?
Well, he's opting out. I thought it was a really good program.
So I'll answer in English. It's probably easier. Really, to answer your question, we don't know why they opted out. I don't want to mention who it was because maybe they don't want to be, but this was, to us, was a win-win. And we couldn't see why someone would opt out, and their reasoning why, to us, it didn't make much sense. I mean, so to answer your question, I don't know why they opted out. They didn't want to jump on board because, I don't know if they were afraid to, because it was something new or what, but so, we don't really know why they opted out. They didn't really, they just said, we don't want to participate, and that was more or less that. So, and the thing is, once you opt out, you can't opt in later on. Once you're out, you're out. So this was, it was, I think myself, personally, I think it was risky, and the waste check, the board thought it was risky, but it was their decision. So once you opt out, you can't opt in, you're out. So.
Weird.
For 3 or 4 years, and it seemed like it was very positive and good for everybody. I was just wondering if there were some cons to it that we wasn't aware of.
There's if you go on the website, there's pros and cons. We found that the pros were for what was really important to us is that this was a way to make the big producers pay to get rid of really what they produce. It shouldn't be us paying for that. And we were anyway. When you buy something, a box of cereal, we pay for it. So it didn't make much sense. And this is going on not everywhere in Canada, but we're not the only ones to be doing this. It's nothing new. It is in Nova Scotia, but so yeah, it's a win-win. I mean, we thought, and yeah, just to make sure that people know, this is not a District 7. This is all through Nova Scotia. It's Nova Scotia. This is mandated by the government. So yeah.
D'autres questions?
Any more questions or comments on this item? I just have. Is it Waste Checks who brings out all the information, or does the resources play a role in that also? The province has mandated this if we want to opt in, and you didn't have to, but it would be more on information for the residents, what is recycled and what isn't. Is Waste Check going to bring out the information? It will be Divert Nova Scotia. They will take care of the big picture. It will be Divert, but it's still Waste Check that has not. The Waste Check will still exist in the same way, but it would be more work for Waste Check because they are entering into it to help to divert. But Divert Nova Scotia will do the most of the work. For the residents, any changes that are coming will be coming from Divert. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So if the public has any question, they can do like before, they can contact Waste Check as they did in the past. And just to add what Councillor DeVoe said, there is already information that came out. We received information from Waste Check through our communications officer. We have put that information, we shared it on our website and we translated it in French. But there is a small press release that explains what APR is and all that. But there is information that came out this week and that is coming out to share with the other municipalities tomorrow. So it is closed, but for the people of Clare who follow us on social media, there will be information coming out tomorrow. Just so you know. Any more questions or comments on this? No? We are up to 11.2. the Accessibility Advisory Committee, Councillor Evans. Thank you, Mr. Warden. We had a lot of meetings for the accessibility comment. We made a pause while the coordinator is put in place, and that took place in the spring. So we are now on track to renew the plan, what will be expedited for 2026. So we met with the first meeting with the whole committee took place on October 30th to see what it will look like. We will have some meetings with key groups as well as a community meeting to do this. So the coordinator is called Marc-Alexandre Bouchard. He does excellent work. He met with a group with Inclusion Clare, Université Sainte-Anne, and at the villa. So sometimes they had a kiosk, sometimes he did individual interviews with these members to hear what their needs are, what their challenges are, and what are the potential solutions. And on November 13th, we had a community meeting at the Centre de la Baie Sainte-Marie in Metegan. It was good. We did not have the participation we anticipated, but there were some good conversations that took place. And we also had a survey online that was circulated over a few weeks. We already had some 197 people who answered the survey, and we feel that the committee, we spoke a bit, we were a bit disappointed with the number, but we are comfortable that the people had the chance to make their concerns and their comments, so that is very good. The survey closed last week on November 18th. After that, we met last Thursday on the 20th when Mark presented us a first draft of a plan that will be the plan for 2026 to 2028. In that plan, we identify we are still on the aspects that were given on the 23-26 plan, but we are still talking about the 25 parts of it: the services, the environment, and employment. So there were some good discussions around the challenges and the action plans on that. We chose actions that could be very large, but some will be made within this plan, within this 2-year plan, so a lot of others will be long-term. We plan to meet next week. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow night on the 27th, it will be our next meeting where we can look and revise the final draft, and we will bring it to the council for your approval.
Thank you for the report. Are there questions or comments on this report? Thank you. Just a comment. There's a lot of work that was done on this project. I'd like to thank the committee because it's a big project, and I think it's going ahead very well. And finally, when it will be finished, I think it will be of great value, and I'd like to thank the committee for the work that you have done. And the questions or comments? Good. Which gives us to new business number 12.1, motion to approve the 2025-2030 Western Regional Enterprise Network intermunicipal agreement. Thank you. The REN expired this year, so we have to get another intermunicipal agreement. This will involve people from Digby to Barrington that are members of this. We are giving funds to the REN with the province, and at the last meeting there was a copy of the agreement that was proposed. and a briefing note that was prepared by the directors of the municipalities that are participating in order to bring out the changes that we wanted to bring to the older agreement to modernize it a bit. It was not major revisions, but if you remember, there was not that much, but especially recording. We'd also put the emphasis on a better communication between REN and the municipalities that are members to know exactly what their programs that they're working on. So this being said, I think from up to now all the municipalities that are members have signed the agreement. Barrington and Clare were the last ones to sign because of our meetings dates. So the intention is to finish this week. So if you agree with my the recommendation is that we sign the intermunicipal network agreement for 2025 to 2030. It's a 5-year agreement. Are there any questions or comments on this? Councillor DeVoe? I'd like to make the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare approve and authorize the Warden and Chief Administrative Officer to execute the 2025-2030 for Western Regional Enterprise Network REN intermunicipal agreement as presented, proposed by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Councillor Como. All those in favour? Motion carried. Motion to appoint members, Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee. Thank you. I spoke about this in the past, but in the provincial level, there are changes, and now when it comes to emergency, all the municipalities of the province must be members of the Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee. Recently there was an EMO that was specific to our municipality, but now the province obligates us to have extend this to a regional situation. So this has to do with the nature of emergencies we've had in the past, recent. So there's a we have agreed with the Council of Digby. So we're putting all the pieces in place for this. We have already signed an intermunicipal municipal agreement with the municipality and town of Digby to formalize this relation. And with this part of the agreement, where there is an advisory committee that will be needed, this is definite. This advisory committee is defined in the agreement, so we'll have the CEO of each municipality will be on that committee, as well as the mayor or warden of the participating committees, and also one councillor, more councillors. So the recommendation would be that the warden would be on this committee, and also Councillor DeVoe would be. So if you still agree with this, we need a motion to formalize these nominations. Questions or comment on this one? Councillor Hill?
I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare appoint Warden Yvonne LeBlanc and Councillor Carl DeVoe to the Digby County Regional Emergency Management Organization's Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee.
Proposé par Conseiller Hill.
Proposed by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor Cooper. All those in favour? Motion carried. 2020 motion to dissolve the municipality's Emergency Management Organization EMO committee. This follows from what I said with the new REMO that has been formed and the advisory committee that has just been mentioned. We have no more need to have an EMO in Clare. It was going to be regional rather than municipal, but our needs will be very well represented around the table. So presently we have an EMO committee. So my recommendation is that we pass a motion to officially dissolve the committee, the municipal committee that exists presently. Questions or comment on this one? Somebody willing to Councillor Cooper? I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare dissolve the municipality's Emergency Management Organization EMO Committee. Proposed by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Como. All those in
All
favour?
those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 12.4, we need a motion to approve a funding contribution to the Clare Share Fridge community. They've been doing an activity over the years for the holidays, and it's free. They did it in the past at the former Veteran Center, and that's why we plan to do it again. That being said, the society approached us under our grants to organization to request a grant to assist with this event. There is a lot of volunteers and a lot of time is given to this event, but there are costs to cover, and they are asking for the municipality to contribute $500 towards this event. It's a good event, it's popular, and it's a very good work. The event itself meet the requirements of our grants to organization, so my recommendation is that we accept the request and that we grant them $500. Questions or comments on this? Deputy Warden Pache, I think they do a good job, so I'm ready to make the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare award $500 to the Clare Share Fridge Communautaire Society for their free community Christmas meal event, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's grant to organization program. Moved by Deputy Warden Préfet, seconded by Conseiller Cooper. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. 12.5, motion to enter with a master services agreement for the collection of PPP. This is, Councillor DeVoe in his report already discussed this. This is the discussions we had at the provincial level with the municipalities who want to enter a program that is going on everywhere in Canada except this province, and all the provinces now in Canada have it. So now that Nova Scotia opted to go with this, it is a good opportunity for the municipality to really to look at the recycling level, to put our resources where they belong, and to put the cost to the producers of these events. But it also, we have to pay a portion of the products that we put in our recycling products. So the deadline to enter the program and sign the contract would be December the 1st. We took a while to get to this point because they are thick contracts, hard to read. But that being said, we are looking at the municipalities who are starting to sign. I think there are 3 municipalities, like Councillor DeVoe said, that have not signed from the 46 municipalities. So it's a good program. This evening, to formalize our participation in the project, there are 2 contracts to sign. The one that I have here is the 12.5 on the agenda, is the the collection of PPP. So that's the PPPs. It's a contract to collect these recyclable products for the people of the public. There will not be much different. The schedule will remain the same. It will be the same contractor who is picking up things now, so there will not be much of a change. But for the public, there is nothing changing. The second contract that we are asked to sign with Circular Materials is the treatment of the recycling once they have been collected. One contract is for the curbside collection, which helps us to cover our municipal costs for that service, as explained in the contract, which is very generous. The second contract is for the services after the collection. It focuses on the time of the personnel and the use of our infrastructures at the transfer station. How do we handle these recyclables, as well as the trucking, because it has to leave our transfer station, and where do we send it? Now the blue bags go to Kentville, Nova Scotia Recycling. It will change in the future, but for now, it doesn't matter where we go, it's to help us cover the cost of the trucking. So if you agree, and I hope you will be, because they are complicated contracts, my recommendation would be to cover two motions tonight. The first would be to accept an agreement with Circular Materials for the collection of PPPs, and the other one is another similar contract, but it is for the services after the collections. Questions or comments? If not, does anybody wish to make the motion? Councillor Hill?
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare enter into a master service agreement with Circular Materials for the curbside collection of single-use packaging, paper products, and packaging-like products.
Moved by Councillor Hill. Seconded by Councillor Evans. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 12.6, motion to enter with the master services agreement with Circular Materials for the post-collection services related to PPP. I moved that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare enter a master services agreement with Circular Materials for post-collection services related to single-use packaging, paper products, and packaging-like products. Moved by Councillor Como, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. 12.6, a motion. 12.7, a motion to write a letter of support for these pool renovations at University of St. Anne. I was approached by University of St. Anne, specifically the communications director. The university is working on a submission for a request for finances from the province for important renovations at the pool. As part of their request, they would like to have a letter of support from the municipality that says that we see the value of the project and that we are in agreement with the project. They are not asking us for money, at least not now, but it's mostly for a letter to indicate that we see the importance and the value of the project, and that the pool is not only used by the university but allowed by the community. So as you know, we are often asked to send letters of support by different organizations. So that being said, I think the president noticed it tonight. We have been working a lot together on different partnerships, And what's good for the university is good for the community also, especially on the sports infrastructure on the campus. So that being said, it would be my recommendation that we send a letter of support to the university as requested regarding renovations to the pool. Any questions on this? No. Anybody wish to make the motion? Councillor Cooper?
I propose that I move that Council of Municipal Clare write a letter to University of Satan and support for their efforts to source project funding for the needed renovation needed to the swimming pool. Seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Again, motion carried. 12.8 motion to accept motion for to award a tender for we had in the capital budget for this year we had included the construction of a new welcoming office for at the Clare Health Center. When you come into the entrance, you go in and where everything is presently, there's somebody who's sitting right at the entrance, and we launched this post as a pilot project to see how it could help the administration and how to have a better service offered to the people. It works really well. However, as you might have seen, that person is just sitting there at an office, at a desk, and there has been in the last years that for the security of this person, that made us question how this employee is placed. Basically, occupational health and safety recognize that there should be a better installation there, and the director of the health center also spoke to me about this, and we're all agree that something needs to be done. So we made some plans to make a more formal place that would be the same as the elsewhere in the center. We had an estimate of around 10,000 by the staff here would say, but we had just one tender and it was over $40,000 to do this. But it was more than we had budgeted, so for this reason we did not accept this tender. So we took out another new tender, hoping that we'd have more interest and more reasonable pricing. We had two tenders. The lowest one was for $19,500. It's still more than we had budgeted, but it is a project that we judged was quite important. So we do have budget to cause it. So we have two tenders. So the amount was 19,500. So there was maybe the elect information, the amount was too high for the first tender. So this being said, my recommendation this evening would be to proceed to accept the proposal to Wilmax Construction Limited for the amount of 19,500 plus HST, and this be taken from the capital reserve budget. Are there questions or comments on this proposed motion? Somebody want to do the motion? Conseiller Como. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare accept the proposal from Wilmax Construction Limited for the construction of a new entrance office at the Clare Health Center in the amount of 19,500 plus HST, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's capital reserve. Proposed by Councillor Como, seconded by Potier, Councillor Potier. All those motion carried. This finishes number 12 for this evening. We have one item in closed session, which is contract negotiations. And the date and time of the next regular council meeting will be Wednesday, December 17, 2025 at 7 o'clock. So we need a motion to go. Proposed by Conseiller Como, seconded by Conseiller Evans. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. Good evening, everybody.